Okay, Karin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So we're here in your emporium. Is that the best way to describe it?
I have never described it like that, but yes.
Design studio, boutique.
Yeah, it's everything. It's my second home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're here a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do all of your illustrations here, your business deals, you run your online store from here.
Yeah.
Shipping goods around the world.
Yes, everything is from here. Yeah.
So it is an emporium of creativity and inspiration.
Yes, exactly. Ever since I got this place, I have stopped drawing at home for real, like 100%, which is quite sad, but I feel like that's work now, so I do it here.
Is that an important part of the creative process, to have a place to be creative?
I haven't thought about it really, because I think as a creative person you can be creative anywhere, but I feel like I need to separate it. Like this is work and this is home.
Yeah.
And since I've made my hobby my work now, it's so nice to feel like I don't have to work at home. I can if I want, if I would like to, but there's no pressure to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense to have that separation. Most people go to work every day, go to a space to work, and then I think it's mainly that's not encroaching on your personal time, so it doesn't maybe upset the family dynamics, or you want to have a bit of creative space. But
yeah, I mean, being a creative is a lot in your head anyways, so I mean, I never stop working because the thoughts are always there, but I don't do it physically, like drawing and being on my computer or anything like that. I save that for when I come here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, I know a little bit about your background story, but I think there's an item somewhere in this emporium that one of your first sketches, I think, that got you from hobby to business. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Where is it?
Can you see it in the camera?
I know it's the bearded guy. Was that one of your original sketches?
Yeah, there's a lot of bearded guys, but the one in the top corner that says, it's a bearded guy, and it says shaving is only for men who swims in the Olympics.
Okay.
That's the actual very first
That was
one.
the first one?
Yeah. And then I thought that it's funny to mix bearded guys with funny sayings. And then I came up with the bearded guy having a coffee and a small little biscuit, or a kaka, as we say in Sweden.
Yeah.
And it says in Sweden we call it a fika, and that's still today the most popular motif that I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you came up with that sketch, where were you? What were you doing?
Actually, I was at work. I worked as an art director at an advertising agency, and I took small pauses like you do at work, and I was just starting to doodle, and I came up with this guy, and as I most often do, I do the illustration, and then I look at it and think, what could this say? Like, what could the copy be to this one? And I just came up with that.
Wow.
It's actually from the Swedish movie Sällskapsresan. In Sweden we call it the kick. Have the little the spark,
Yeah.
So I just ripped that off and made it. In Sweden we call it the fika.
Okay.
And
and when you did that sketch, did you think, oh, this is gold? This is
because when I do get that feeling, it's often wrong.
Okay. So it's the equivalent of a music artist maybe having a song that they think, oh, that'll never be a hit, and then it ends up being their best track on their album, and vice versa. Yeah. You don't really know what people are going to resonate with.
I know, and that's the scary part of this. At least you try to figure it out, but you always end up like, no, I have no idea what the people will think about this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you came up with that sketch, and from there, that gave you the momentum to take a leap of faith and start your own business. Is that
I had started years before a Twitter account, and this was, I can't remember if it was in 2013 or something, and I had started an Instagram account where I posted, stuff about my life, but mostly stuff that I draw. And I started getting requests like, oh, this is really cute, or this is funny, can I buy it somewhere? And I was like, nope. You can't. But then I started looking into like, okay, maybe people should be able to buy my stuff.
Right.
How do I do it? What do I put it on? So obviously the first thing to do was to start making like posters, because you can print very few, or it doesn't cost that much. And then I started an online shop. Back then it was Ticktail. Now it's Shopify.
Okay. And the posters, that was just a natural place to go first, because, as you say, the costs of production stock was low. It was low risk.
Low risk, low shipping costs.
And everyone loves a poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started with that, and then I got into trays. And also the Fika illustration should really go on a tray, right?
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so I had posters and trays. And I contacted this store in Sweden called Designtorget and presented the Fika tray to them, and they were like really excited.
How did you get in contact with them?
Back then they had a form that you could fill in on the website.
Okay.
Like, do you want to sell stuff? Please applicate here. So I did that, and they got in touch with me, and it was like, yeah, well, I think this will go well with tourists. And
wow.
Yeah. And it did. So that was the beginning of a great...
that must have given you a lot of confidence at the time.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, that's
to see your actual product in an actual store.
Big store and many stores.
Yeah, and a store that I have always admired for having nice stuff.
Great merchandise, selection of products that inspire you. It's the shop, you go in there and you're like, I'm so spending 1,000 kroners in here. Like, you know it.
I'm going to buy 4 trays.
Yeah, exactly. But so that was a breakthrough moment, I guess, that inspired you to go, okay, this is now a proper business. I have one of Sweden's largest retailers in the design field buying from me directly. And you didn't have an agent. You just made it happen through your own persistence.
Yeah. And that was also a good way to reach out to other people, because everyone who bought that tray could flip it over and see who made it. And there was also the address to my website. So if they liked the tray, they could just flip it over and go see other stuff.
So it was also a business card.
Yeah, exactly. And it just like spread.
Yeah. And then people can go back and buy the mug that goes with it, and the motif is on other products. So it makes sense that you would go and buy the collection. Yeah. I think I have one of those mugs here.
And that's another one, but
never design, but yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so it's spread. And it's so fun to just sit and think of other ideas and products. And so now I have a lot of products.
Yeah, we can see that. And how do you come up with these things? I mean, the bearded man is a centerpiece of your designs. Yeah. But you have also done other things, but why the bearded man?
I don't know. He was born when I was working as this art director at the mecca of hipsters at Södermalm in Stockholm. So I was surrounded by bearded men. Yeah. So I guess that influenced me a lot. And then it's also really fun for me, it's most important that it's fun for me to create it. And drawing all those black little lines and hairdos and yeah,
it's therapy for you. You're meditating when you're drawing it, and then really. You have something that people want to buy. Yeah. And I guess Instagram for you was some kind of sounding board, maybe a way of like first testing the illustrations.
Exactly.
And seeing what goes in the comments, what people like or ask for.
Yeah, because I tried to do stuff that only looked good. Like, oh, maybe I should do a pillowcase with flowers on it. No one would like a pillowcase with flowers on it that I have drawn. They can go to any supermarket or bigger store to get that. I think people go to me because I have this style and I make fun stuff.
Right.
And they can relate. Or this bearded guy looks like my uncle and he likes Fika, so he must have this one. Or
and you seem to have stayed in a lane in terms of your designs. Maybe that's something that other artists and illustrators struggle with. They perhaps tried a lot of different things and then nothing really takes hold, doesn't have a chance to take hold. You've kind of been disciplined and stayed on track so that after many years, your products have become iconic and memorable. People see them.
Iconic, that's so sweet.
It's true.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I've said to people, the tray lady, the one in Design Torriere, and they're like, oh.
That's me.
Yeah, you're synonymous with the Fika tray, I think, in Sweden and beyond.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be that. Well, it's for me, it's the fun way of creating stuff, like drawing all these quirky little figures and not worrying about the illustrations being perfect. Like I don't know, I can make mistakes and no one will notice because that's how it looks like.
Yeah, it seems to be a perfect blend. It's a great image, but it's imperfect as well, which gives it that kind of authentic feel. Like it does feel like you've sketched it.
Yeah.
And you have.
Yeah.
So
because I can't do. Sometimes I do illustrations that take a lot of time, and for me, one day is a lot of time. I know that people sometimes struggle weeks with one illustration, but I lose interest as soon as I get up and go home. Then I like to come back and make something else the next day. Yeah. So it needs to be quick.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So when having a business, making that leap from being an art director and having your own business and having an online store and having a wholesale customer, big one, and perhaps others as well, how do you manage all of that? How do you keep on top of it? Do you have
It sounds like a lot now that you mentioned
and a family you have as well.
Yeah, and a family. The funny thing is having your own business and having a family. I don't know people that have a regular job and a family. How do they do it? I mean, I need to have my own working hours. I need to be my own boss to make it work. Like if they call from preschool or school and say that, you need to pick up your kids, I will be there in like 10 minutes.
You have that freedom as a business owner.
Yeah. And if we want to go do anything one day, I can take that day off and we go do it on a Tuesday, not on a Sunday when everyone else is doing it. Yeah. So it's perfect.
Yeah. And so to get the growth behind the business, I mean, you have the pressure of paying the bills and, you have ambitions, I guess, that you want to grow.
Yeah.
What do you do to grow the business? Do you have a plan? Is it referral based? Are you marketing the business in any way?
First of all, I did not put all my eggs in one basket. Like I have the retailers, I have my own online shop, I do illustrations for other companies. Maybe 1 month, one of these legs are much, I don't know why I used the metaphor
legs on a chair. You haven't done something to this chair. That would be a good time for a leg to break on my stool here.
Yeah, well, maybe 1 month I'm doing more illustrations for others, and then I don't do as much of another thing. But it's always in a balance. In if I see, okay, now for Christmas, maybe I need to concentrate on my online shop. Because now it's the time to harvest the Christmas gifts and everything.
Yeah.
So then I focus on that thing. And in January, time to do something else now when the focus is low on e-commerce and stuff like that.
So it's sort of seasonally led with an element of just whatever you feel like doing and also where the opportunity is to grow.
Yeah. And not to be dependent on one thing.
Right.
Because if that breaks or if that business goes down, I mean, like Instagram, if Instagram shuts down tomorrow and that's my only channel out, I mean,
it's risky.
Where am I?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. So your advice would be to anyone in a business like yours, an illustrator or an artist, is to think about multiple revenue streams, basically.
Yeah, I think it would be a slim business to only do one thing. I mean, look at what's happening now with Corona and stuff like that.
You need to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
I think one advantage you have as a creative, as an illustrator, an artist, you have a natural eye for marketing in the sense that it is very visual now. Like Instagram, these platforms are visual first, so you have an advantage over maybe a different type of business. It's
very easy for me to do content, right? I can do
Yes.
almost anything, draw anything, and just slam it on Instagram, and it's content. I mean, it's content just to watch me work.
Right.
I mean, people really like to watch me draw. That's insane. Like, you should put on more videos of you drawing. Those
time-lapse videos you've done are amazing.
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah, because to see a blank piece of paper turn into some incredible, don't know what to call it, but some incredible drawing of this come from your head. Like,
and imagine people finding it soothing to watch. Imagine it being soothing to draw it.
The Pencil Factory one, where is that? That's around somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Oh, the Dream Factory.
Yeah.
I'll flash up to it. I'll cut into it so people can see. But I mean, how you came up with that's incredible. You must have been having a happy day because it's like
and also that illustration was just for me because I wanted to do a bit of a bigger piece that I put more hours into, and I wanted to do lots of color, lots of small details.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the secrets to your success seems to be that you just create, and then that leads to either someone contacting you saying, "Oh, we saw that post you did of the Dream Factory. We're looking for something for a Christmas calendar or something."
Exactly.
It leads to something.
Yeah, because you never know what people are after. Like,
right.
Maybe I look at something and I feel like this doesn't hold the quality that I'm not gonna post anything that I don't feel like I like myself.
Yes.
But you never know what someone is after. Like in the beginning, I only made stuff in black and white because I thought, okay, well, I can be the one that makes everything in black and white. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. And then I started using color, and I was like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I doing this for? Is it for others or is it for me?
You're evolving.
Should I maybe just leave this black and white stuff and do this now because this is more fun, and people really enjoy the colors as well. So
you mentioned you use Shopify for the online store. Mm-hmm. How's that platform working for you?
Really good. I like it a lot. It's really simple. I mean, if I can
the fact that you're not cursing right now is a good sign, because most platforms and most things people work with is like it doesn't do this, doesn't do that. So the fact you're like, it just works, right?
Yeah, it just works. I mean, if someone like me, I'm not saying that I'm technically stupid, but I don't enjoy the technical part of stuff. I like to draw. So, but it's so simple. You just log in and it's like, oh, this person ordered this. Please send it to them. Like, okay, I can do that. And then I click, I sent it.
Right.
So it's done.
So it frees you up to focus on the business. It's not code and complicating, getting in the way of your day.
Yeah, it's like 15 years ago when you started a blog. It was like, okay, create a blog. Click. And I have a blog now.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Creating your own online shop. Sometimes I think, is it too easy to do this?
Right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's really is no excuse today to if you have a talent or something that you think people might want, then for a few dollars a month you can start with the Shopify store and see if people take to it.
Yeah, but then again, do it properly. Like,
right.
I take in externs to help me with economy. Like, I wouldn't bother digging into how I do that. I need to do it correctly, so I give that part to someone else to help me with that.
Instagram, I think you said before we started the podcast, was a key part of growing the Shopify store.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think about the future? Do you think Instagram continues to help you grow, or do you have any idea of what the future might hold for driving visitors to the online store?
Oh my God, tough question. I wish I knew. I don't know. I'm a sucker for good content. So I don't know. Just make yourself, I don't know, put yourself out there. I mean, people will see if this is a business that is just made for making money. I mean, I could easily go to China and purchase a lot of stuff and sell them online here, but I don't know, put your heart and soul into it. Show your customers that this is what I love to do, and I'm doing this because it's fun, and I really would like you to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
I think what you're saying is like look after your ecosystem and it'll look after you. Like
I think so.
Just keep creating, keep opening up, agreeing to do crazy stuff like this, talking to me.
Crazy.
Talking to me on a podcast. You just keep going, like just trying new things, and there's always a new platform. There's always something new.
Yeah.
Instagram, I think, aligned perfectly with an artist or an illustrator or a creative. They were literally just made for each other, I think. Certainly in the first version of Instagram, very visual. Anything that inspired you visually, you had to go on Instagram. It was like the place to see it. Yeah. And over the years, it's become very competitive, I think. There's a lot of great stuff being posted.
Yeah.
And as the iPhone camera improves, so do the pictures. So it's hard to stop the thumb now on Instagram. Harder to stop the thumb. I think where we go from here, like how we transition into other media and other platforms is going to be a challenge. Yeah,
I know. I mean, the whole thing with TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I know you're a big fan of TikTok, but also it takes a lot of time to be on all the different platforms.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a lot of time.
No, not with everything you have to do.
I know. So, I mean,
it's like
focus.
And because you care about quality and you don't cut corners, you've got to do one all in or not at all. So it's hard to do a bit of everything, because then you just have creative anxiety that, that wasn't perfect, but I still posted it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I started a YouTube account. I was like, I can post these time-lapse videos on YouTube as well. But then I realized, like, I need to be on YouTube then.
Yes.
I need to learn the YouTube lingo. I need to edit the movies like YouTubers do. It needs to be more interesting than just me drawing. I maybe need to put vocals on it to explain what I'm doing. And it takes a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, and it's experimentation as well, because like a lot of things, it could be wasted time, and that's difficult when you're so busy.
Yeah, super busy.
Yes. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think this is really inspiring. It's a great story, that you came from an idea, a sketch, an illustration, and you turned it into a business. And I think it's an emporium of amazing stuff.
Oh, thank you.
And I wish you all the luck for the future.
Well, thank you, and you too.
Yeah, thank you.